Okay, this video is going over how to make a basic kind of video game where you have a little Pac-Man image move around using the arrow keys. The information is found inside of the Chapter 10 GUIs folder and subfolder of how to make an image move with arrow keys. Okay, so just to show you what it'll look like when you're done, um, it'll look kind of like this. I think the ghost, it won't be there quite yet. You'd have to add that, but it'll make the Pac-Man and have him move around with the arrow keys. All right, so that's what we're working on this project. Okay, so in order to get it set up, you're going to need a package. I called it just Pac-Man starter code, I guess, is what you'll have. You call it Pac-Man, whatever. You just might have to change these Pac-Man things at the top. All right, and then there's actually a bunch of different .java files you need here, 4 of them, right? But they should be pretty easy to access. You just click this link to Pac-Man starter code, and then get the folders loaded into Eclipse, all right, inside of their own little package. All right, also inside of here, you'll see images. I think I don't have them here yet, but I'll put them in here in a second when I'm done with this video. Um, so you'll need those images, and the hardest part of this is getting the images to load. So that's actually inside of Pacman. When you open pacman.java, it loads these images, and there's a couple ways to do it, and my settings are also different now that I'm not sure if this will work on yours, but this is the default one. And so you just need to make sure that it can find this pacman.gif. And so there's a couple places you can stick it. If you stick it right in this same folder, it should find it. If that doesn't work, make a resource folder. Go, I don't know what I'm doing there, but click on this and do like new resource folder, source folder, I guess is what it's called. And then name it something like images, and you can put it in there. So that's any images you need to load, put them either right next to the .java or in an images thing. Okay, and if none of those things work to load the image, I did in the past, I made this Pacman image fix, so you can try this other way to do it. Again, I'm sorry there's so many different ways, but contact me if you're having trouble getting your image to load. And also check out this. This has some kind of alternate code that you could just copy and paste right into the load image in Pac-Man. Right, and that's by far the hardest part to get to work. All right, so after you've got everything loaded, you only have to change 2 files, game.java and pacman.java. Right, so inside of here, they'll have your code here. Right, so if you kind of just search through, it'll have your code here and kind of explain what you need to do. And you just add the code, right? And so that's in both Pacman and in game. All right, so there'll be spots in here where you have to add some different code, right? And once you get it in there, it should work and should be roughly playing like a basic Pac-Man game with the moves with the arrow keys when you are done. All right, so all of these directions are actually out on Schoology too. So there's a arrow keys project right here. If you click on that, that'll give you some of the explanation of some of the things I just went through with you in this video. All right, just if you want to try and make some sense of what this code is doing, the main file is game, and that is a JPanel. So a JPanel is just like a little pop-up window. So this is not a bad example, but the panel is just kind of the part in the middle, and the frame goes around the outside. So if you look at the runner file, you're making a JFrame here, and then you're making a game, which is a panel, and then adding that panel to the frame. So that gets you a little, maybe here I can run in here. Oops, now I blew something up. Oh, because it's not working yet. This is not code that's working yet. But in the working version, the outside thing is the frame, and then the inside part is the panel. So this just makes the frame, adds the panel, sets some sizes, blah 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 blah. Okay, and then most of the guts is in here, right? And most of what you see is inside of that panel. So here's the working one again. Oops, now the game over because the ghost got me. That's a shame. And again, the frame is this whole thing, and the panel part is the middle part inside here. So this gray part inside here is the panel, and the whole thing is the frame. And what we really do is this panel has like a paint component, and then you just use that paint component to draw crap all over the place. Draw the ghost and the Pac-Man and some blue dots and some scores. Okay, so inside a game, we have again a paint component, and so we're going to call the superclass, right? So call paint of panel, because panels are superclass, and then we're going to get this graphics object and then use that to draw. So if you look at all of these things like draw Pac-Man and draw score and draw dots, they all use the graphics of the panel. And so here we're drawing an image, right? And it just takes in a whole bunch of parameters like here's the image we're drawing, here's the X and Y coordinate, which actually changes as you move the arrow keys. They just change as X, Y. And then this is the size of the images. It's 25 by 25 pixels. All right, so that's what's happening there. And then all that does these are the keys being pressed. This is a right-hand key. That's just going to make him move right, and that's going to change his X coordinate so that when we repaint, it'll be a different X coordinate there. All right, this just draws some dots. This just draws the score variable, right? So that's kind of how it works, is you just drawing it. And you can draw all sorts of different things. Just call this graphics dot, and you can draw lines and triangles and all sorts of goofy stuff. But it's all in these graphics methods. All right, so hopefully that gives you a sense of what's going on and a start to this project. Hopefully you can get the basic working. If not, let me know. Again, the hardest part is to get that image to load in Pac-Man. And again, hopefully this works if you put the images there. If not, use that image fix that is found right here. All right, that is all. Good luck. It's kind of fun if you can get it to work. Let me know if you have questions.